Greetings, welcome to the channel. Now today I'm here to tell you a Dave the Cat story, and this is about Dave the Cat and the role of content. Oh yes, now we do love a good story, so don't go. And if you like storytelling, if you like cats, if you like humour and a bit of entertainment, then stay tuned for this video. Oh yes, a long time ago, in those days of the Vikings and the Anglo-Saxons, as I am one how, as you see, there was a cat. And he was no ordinary cat. In fact, he was a magical, mythical, mysterious, and sometimes very amusing cat. Oh yes, very funny was Dave. And Dave was a hero. He was the bravest of all the cats. And he was superb at doing anything he could do. Now, little to Dave's knowing, he was going to a place to go and stay with some friends. A longhouse in the hills. But little did he know that this friend had not long moved in, and before that this place used to be an illegal meadery, and was raided by the reeve, by the magistrate and men, Anglo-Saxons, who came and arrested these illegal manufacturers of mead. But just before they got caught, they managed to get a lot of the mead and pour it down a well. Because, let's face it, if you're there in the 900s and you're illegally, making mead and making ale and not paying your taxes on the secret, which is not an honest thing to do, you're going to want to try to get rid of your secret wares. And of course, when in the distance, because they was on a hill, they saw these men on horseback coming to them, they knew what to do. And so the man in charge, his name was Eric the Big and the Brave, said, "We must crack open the barrels and pour away the mead, the evidence." For if they had no mead there and there was no evidence, and they would not be taken to the old thing like in my grandfather's time, they would not have to go to court and suffer the consequences of their bad deeds. And so this is what they did. All the men rushed around and hurrying, breaking barrels and pouring it, down the well. One man even tried to drink a barrel, but he failed halfway through, and they just managed to break all the barrels and empty them all out into the well. And the magistrate came with his men. They looked round and they could not arrest him, and the men, the brewers, they left that place, for if they stuck around they would be in trouble. And time passed. The land was sold on to somebody else, a friend of Dave the Cat's. And he had sent him a rune stave with some, a request of help. Could he come and stay at our longhouse for a few weeks and help us to repair it? And there's also some very strange things going on, and we need your help. He was like, the Mrs. Marple of solving mysteries was Dave the Cat. Oh yes, if you know who Mrs. Marple is, just watch YouTube and find out. And so Dave went there, he went on a journey. It took him a few days. He had to go through a very old haunted forest, and in the forest was an old inn, and he stayed there, and it was served and run by a ghost. Another story. Oh, Dave very quickly left there because he did not have a good night's sleep. I don't think I would in a old inn with a ghost that serves you mead. I'd take the mead and run. It's got the mead, I'm going now. Goodbye, ghost. And the next day he walked on again and came to a village, and he stayed there. This place was much better, a good old hall, and he had hospitality from the Jarl, the land, the man who owned the land, not the land who owned the man. That would be weird, hello, I'm a man, I'm owned by this bit of grass. And he carried on, and eventually he came to the mountains high up in the old land of the Piat people, the Celts of Derbyshire, in the dales and the valleys. And he came to the wooded place where this man lived, and he had a grand view. But he said this man was called Halfdan, his friend, Halfdan the adventurer. He's retired now because he took an hour to the knee. Bad luck that was. And so Dave the Cat got there, and he said, "Hey up, Halfdan, ex-adventurer, what's been going on then?" He said, "It's the people." He says, you sit by, you know, you take up a hot drink with me, and we'll sit on this mead bench and we'll watch people. And you told me there's not something going on here. And so this is what Dave did. He got his little sack and he put it in a little room where he was going to sleep for the night, and maybe a few more nights, seeing how things went. You know, you never want to commit to staying anywhere more than one night, because you may not like it. That's a tip for lodging in the Viking Age. Oh, hello, I've just come to lodge. Can you put me up for the night? You know, if it's okay and the food's good, I'm staying for a week now. here's a silver coin. I want half of it back. And so Dave and this man, Halfdan, they sat round, and Dave started to notice people. People were behaving strangely, clumsy and falling over and swaying a lot. You know, he said, what's going on here? Says Dave. If I didn't know better, I'd think all the people around here are drunk. He said, but that's strange, because we've got arguing no ale and no mead and no wine. We've not even been to get any yet, really. We just moved in a few weeks ago. You know, the brew we're making, not even ready. You always brewed in those days to have a drink at the end of your day, but not enough to get all these people drunk. And there was quite a few people there, you know, a dozen. And everybody apart from Halfdan and Dave the cat were drunk. And at first I couldn't figure it out. What's going on here? Well, the first thing Dave did, he started spying on people. You know, he got out his magical cloak of invisibility and he put it on, and he watched the maids for a while, and they was drunk. And then he watched the servants going about their business, getting even more drunker. And then he watched the blacksmith, and he nearly set fire to his whole building, and Dave got a bucket of water and threw it over. I thought he'd missed the fire, first of all, and hit the blacksmith. He wasn't very impressed. He said, why you? Drunkenly, of course. And Dave got another bucket of water and put the fire out. And then he noticed something. The one thing they all had in common is that they all went to the well to get the water to drink. At this point, Dave realised that there was something not right in them hills up there. Oh yes. Oh yes, not right in them hills, he says. And so Dave went to Halfdan. He said, it's your well. There's something wrong with your well. I think your water's being ruined. There's something wrong with it. And so Dave and Halfdan went to the well, and they wound up the bucket. But they got a ladle and tasted it, and Dave immediately spat it out. He said, oh, this is pure strength mead. You got a magic well of mead. I know Halfdan thought to himself, well, there's a bit of coin to be made out of here. And very quickly, Dave and Halfdan went and got the cooper, and they sobered him up, and they got him to make as many barrels as he could. For days and days, the cooper was making barrels. Even people joined in. And this another art form is coopering, the art of barrel making and bucket making. And he made all these barrels, and then Dave and Halfdan got all the mead from the well and filled it up in the barrels until the well was dry. And that was the end of the problem, and no more did people get drunk every day unless they chose to. I would love a well like that. If you said to me, right Braggy, you see that bit of patch ground down there is a well, and if you dig down there 30 feet you'll find 3 ale, I'd be fetching my spade right now. Can you imagine it? It does remind you of the wells of, you know, in the Norse mythology, and that is a whole entire subject for another time. So if you've enjoyed this video, if you like our channel, then 2 things you could do for us is share the video and smash that like button. By doing those 2 pieces of action for us, that will really help the channel to grow. And until the next time, as I wander off, until we meet again in 2 days, where we have another story, it is goodbye from me. Goodbye from Braggy, the Viking. Goodbye. I'm going to show you my shield. My shield is coming into view. Goodbye to you.